And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. And Roberta, we're going to be talking about fads and
speaking out.
Speaking out. Please do.
Speaking out, do you sometimes want to speak out but hold your thoughts due to the potential of hurting someone you care about?
I think sometimes it's best to do that. I think that once you think about what you're going to say and see how it plays out and wait, maybe you can bring it up either nonchalantly or you can bring it up down the road. Sometimes when we speak out at the beginning, in anger, or even in not understanding the consequences. Oh, she's my friend, she'll totally understand if I say this. And sometimes we don't realize the ramifications of something maybe that powerful that comes out of your mouth. So there.
I think there's times when it's good to wait, and I think there's times when it's really important to speak out.
I think it's all about timing, because I think we want to say what needs to be said. But I learned something as a minister myself, too, is when I go to confront somebody, I need to tell somebody something, I need to check my heart first. I need to check it at the door. Mm-hmm. Am I angry? Am I fearful? Am I confused? Whatever it is. And I leave it at the door, get that all purged out of me. Then when I talk to the person, it makes a whole difference because they're not looking at me with their arms crossed. They've got their arms down.
So what you're saying is talk to yourself first.
Yeah, talk to myself. Because sometimes I don't even have to talk to them. Maybe it was just about my own perception. So sometimes it's like, whoa, it's amazing. If we can take care of our own junk first before we go to try to talk to somebody, then what comes out of our mouth is probably going to be very well received. That's what I think.
It's true with, I remember with my son, I think he was right around 13, and he was really having a hard time and a lot of anger and frustration in him, and he started to lash out. And I remember that moment of, okay, how am I going to respond back to him? And so I checked in. And actually, I asked, it was a little prayer, actually, because I knew this was a defining moment, and said, how I act towards him is going to define him for the future. And so I got very calm, and I said, is this what you want to do? Is this who you want to be in this moment and going forward? And taking that quiet voice down really shifted it. And thank you.
Well, it's that.
Thank you for giving me the right words.
Exactly. A soft answer turns away wrath. Yeah. We can diffuse anything. It's that when that rally starts that we get into trouble, we can diffuse it.
Right.
By checking.
Escalating your voice stuff. My mother had the best saying of all. If she was ever upset, she goes, "I brought you in, I take you out."
I have
being full-blooded Italian. That was her philosophy, and we knew what she meant. It was done in love.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
I love it. That's why I love the Italians. They just say it like it is. I have a cute story to say about the same son who now his wife is pregnant, just a few weeks away from due date. And there was something, and she was all upset, and they were having something going on in their life. And she said all of a sudden his voice shifted. Talked really calmly and low, and she said he just talked me right out of it, and I had to smile inside when she told me the story, because I thought,
taught him.
He got that. It's like, oh, thank you.
Telling people as opposed to being it is going to speak more volumes.
And bring them up to your level. A lot of times people talk down to like younger people and stuff, and I have found, like, even with Austin, I can talk to Austin like
Even with Austin,
I can talk to Austin and even Donovan. You talk to him as an equal. It's they are adults, but they're young kids.
Yeah.
But I do that even with my grandkids. I have some of the best conversations with my 12-year-old grandson.
I love it.
It is just so much fun because he asks so many intelligent questions, and it is just so nice to do that. And I think that what people my age have to understand is that you can learn something from younger people. You can watch the way that they do things.
Well, I was talking to my 5-year-old granddaughter. I have 5 grandkids, but my 5-year-old granddaughter and I were talking, and I was telling her how I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. She looks at me, she goes, "Grandma, just do it."
There you go. See?
Cool.
The words.
The words out of
See,
Babe.
Out of the Babe.
and I
She
mean,
put me in my
they're-
place.
They're
I
so
love it.
honest. That's what's so cute.
It is
But I
cute.
do believe that there are times where it is the timing and it is the subject matter
is.
on what you are discussing,
Right.
whether you can reach out or not. Whether it's your mate or it's your best friend
Right.
or a family member, sometimes you have to
It goes
silence.
back to the timing.
The
the
best
timing.
the best thing about talking to someone is just listening to them and see if they come towards you and then you can interact and have that dialogue.
Yeah.
But it is the timing.
And it's important too to remember, going back to what you were saying, Linda, that you have to be clear that that you're differentiating from your response
that's
or your
right.
reaction
Right.
to something that happened
That's right.
versus what the actual behavior
That's right.
or something that was said or done.
Haven't you found there's a lot of times where somebody will tell you something about the interaction that they're having with a child or whatever? Well, if it was me, I would do A, B, and C. But then when you're faced with it, you do E, F, G, Q, R, S, the whole big thing. We're going to move on to our next topic, my dear.
Another very interesting topic,
Yeah.
fads. Okay, fads. Everywhere we go, everyone is always texting. Are you getting tired of this behavior?
Yes, because I think that there is not enough dialogue. There is nothing wrong with sitting down and writing a person a little note in a card, picking up the telephone and talking on the telephone. They will tell you, psychologists will tell you that you need to hear a person's voice to connect sometime. And I think that the texting, you can text somebody 20 times a day, but when you hear that person's voice and you hear the emotion, not all these marks and whatever. I'm lucky if I can know how to turn on my phone. But the thing is that you hear the emotion. You can hear the anger, you can hear the love, you can hear the sadness, you can hear that coming from them. And I think that's more important than
See, you'd be a good coach.
I think if we go one step farther, because I know that when we talk on the phone is great, but when we're face to face,
yes.
and we can touch and whatever, because I heard statistically that 12 touches a day boost your immune system. So if you're not feeling very well, go out and get some 12 hugs somewhere, and not pats and hits, but just these nice loving touches actually boost your immune system.
Well,
Isn't that
you'll
amazing?
notice
an
here
interesting-
after the show, we all hug. That's
Yeah.
just us.
Yeah.
Well, we're boosting our immune system
Yes.
and we're giving ourselves some vitamin C and
it is so
you know?
important.
Well, it's just like gratitude and
serotonin. gets
serotonin,
picked up
exactly,
and,
all
yeah.
of that. It's physical, and it's also emotional.
That's right.
And
horny, some people are. Let me give you a hug because I'm horny.
well,
Wait a
that's
minute.
okay too.
No, it's not. It depends on who it is.
Well, that's true.
But I think that the emotions and the touching is very important. I think, and I learned that as a kid, being Italian, the aunts and the pinching and stuff. My God, my cheeks were like hanging out to here.
That's a little bit too much.
But yeah, but that's the way that
But
they
it was
were.
love. It was with love.
Everything was love. I
Yeah.
mean, it was done with love. And even how our parents used to say sometimes, I'm gonna. Okay, here's your punishment. It's going to hurt me more.
I was just going to say
than
that.
it hurt
It's
you.
gonna hurt me then.
And
Yeah.
you say, no, it's not. Let me smack you
Yeah, that's
once
right.
or twice. But see, my parents never laid a hand on us. I think my dad did once, but that was it.
My dad didn't have to with me.
No.
All he had to do was raise
Look
his
at
voice
your-
and
yeah.
look at me, and
My
I would
dad,
burst
too.
into tears.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh.
okay,
Yeah, because you feel like, I let him down
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well,
But
back to this technology, I think fads should be more like addictions because they're getting addicted to technology.
That's a good point.
And we were talking earlier off the screen is that
there are
kids
people
are-
that are addicted.
people, even adults, are not smart anymore. We're using our smartphones and we're relying on them. I heard somebody say, does anybody remember their phone number? No.
Yeah, when somebody
No,
asks you their
nobody-
phone
yeah,
number.
no, because
wait.
we're using, we have to use electronics
Well,
to teach
look
us.
how many people get addicted to like their computer. They're on the computer.
Or games,
17.
gaming.
Those blasted games and the thing. I mean,
There's a good part to them. There really is.
They're
a good-
educational.
They can be extremely educational. And
It
there's
depends
a
on the
point,
game, though, because
Right. Well,
I know
that's true, too.
those war games and those Warcraft and whatever it is that they do with all the demons and the sword fighting and stuff like that, and they're like this for 10 hours
Yeah.
a day
And see,
can
my-
destroy a family.
Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law cut a line. No, you can't do this. That's it. You want to you go do something else, and that both the grandkids are into sports and stuff. But the thing is that with John, he'll ask, can I play this or whatever? 15 minutes, that's it. Then you go practice, your guitar, whatever
I
you
think
have
That's
it's
a
to
good
do.
to
thing
have-
to do.
to have
But if you
limits.
have that
Time limit.
addiction, if you have
Right.
that addiction going on in you, and if you say no, you can't do that, then they're going to go find something else to be addicted to. We got to get deeper and find out what's really causing that drivenness to have all that going on in their life. That's where I go, with people that I know.
When we talk about fads or something that becomes like say an addiction, you're taking a different avenue then.
That's right.
Because
That's
a fad is one thing you want
That's
to
right.
you want to wear a certain thing
Yeah.
because it's fashionable, whatever.
This is more
or
of
you
an
want
addiction.
you want the phone
Yeah.
because whatever, and it's a fast
it
source of
comes and goes.
communication. Right.
Yeah.
Right. What you buy today is obsolete
That's
in
right.
2 months. So the thing is that I think that everything in moderation, and I think the maturity of the person
Yeah.
using the device has a
right.
lot to do
That's
with
right.
it.
What I don't understand with the texting is texting the same person 20 times a day. And not just kids. I mean, I can sort of understand it more with the kids because they go through that period of really needing to feel.
Sometimes they can
connected.
express more
But
good.
but I don't know. This is my personal thing. Do you really need to text your
Get
kids
this.
5 times a day?
Wait a minute. I just
As
got
an adult, I don't think so.
social media thing going on, Facebook, whatever. I was laughing. I told my husband, I go, this is a couple. Why are they Facebooking each other?
There you go.
I'm like, okay, what's up with that?
I agree. We are going to take a very, very short break, and we're not going to talk about fads anymore.
Or
We're
purses?
No purses, no fads, no speaking out, nothing. We're going to go into a free-for-all, and we're going to talk about some very interesting issues that both these ladies deal with all the time, and we are also going to be talking about our scenario. So we're going to take a very, very short break, and we want you to come back and catch us on the flip side of 3.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight,